2018 Volkswagen Arteon Coupe Review. The good points of Volkswagen Arteon Coupe. Glamorous 5-door coupe style. Loads of space for folks and luggage. Wide selection of engines. Generous standard equipment. Strong value PCP finance offers. The bad points of Volkswagen Arteon Coupe. Ride may be smoother. Can't match premium rivals' image. Not a very green choice. Not the sharpest car to operate a vehicle. The VW Arteon is explained by its maker like a 5-door Gran Turismo, which in less fluffy terms means it's essentially a far more attractive, and pricier, 5-door coupe replacement for the Passat. But perhaps such plain dealing is uncharitable, for Volkswagen has put a substantial amount of effort into this car, combining a strikingly distinctive design that moves way past the safely conservative ethos from the Passat with impressively generous interior space as well as a strong increased exposure of safety. Indeed, many active safety systems make their Volkswagen debut for the Arteon, plus it scores a deserved 5-star rating inside Euro NCAP crash test. It is, to put it differently, the company's new flagship. But does that mean you should look at one over more premium rivals? Volkswagen Arteon rivals. Following on in the 4-door Volkswagen CC Coupe, the Passat CC before its facelift, the Arteon sees everyman VW upping its premium game in order to challenge the likes from the BMW 4 Series Grand Coupe and its in-house rival the Audi A5 Sportback. It also competes contrary to the Volvo S90 Saloon, Skoda Superb hatchback, while Volkswagen itself cites the Mercedes class and Jaguars as key rivals. Although they share several engineering details, such as underlying MQB platform architecture, the Audi and Volkswagen usually are not carbon copies, since the two VW Group products have different dimensions. The Audi is less, as you move the Arteon is longer, wider and it has a greater distance between its axles, making the cabin bigger. Less highfalutin Arteon rivals add the Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport, as well as any number of conventional mid-size saloons and fastbacks. Volkswagen Arteon engines. Arteon buyers obtain a choice of 6 engines, which has a SP watch of petrol and diesel choices. All models consist of fast-shifting twin-clutch DSG automatic gearboxes as standard, bar the entry-level 150 horsepower petrol and diesels. In places you have to pay extra for the self-shifting box. The range-topping models, the 280 horsepower 2.0-liter petrol and 240 horsepower 2.0-liter diesel, both feature VW's 4Motion 4-wheel drive as standard, which gives strong traction on slippery roads. Volkswagen Arteon trim levels. The Arteon will come in just 2 UK trim levels, Elegance and Droline. As their names suggest, one places an increased exposure of luxury, another offers a sportier ethos. Whichever Arteon you opt for, you will get plenty of kit as standard, including a great deal of in-car tech, safety kit and luxurious touches. These incorporate a 8.0-inch touchscreen infotainment system with sat-nav, back and front parking sensors, adaptive cruise control and heated leather seats. Reline models, meanwhile, gain bolder styling and larger wheels for the sportier feel. Other equipment within the options list includes a high-level adaptive dynamic chassis control DCC system, which enables you to adjust suspension and steering settings, opening panoramic glass sunroof, a head-up display and upgraded 9.2-inch sat-nav system. The verdict. This can be a stylish, spacious take around the 5-door coupe market. The engines are powerful, Standard products are generous as well as the Arteon is both simple and easy, comfortable to operate a vehicle. It also offers more passenger room than its immediate rivals, which has a high-touchy user-friendly interior. In plain English, it's a supremely competent car. The question is whether you, like a buyer, value this competency above the image along with the driving dynamics supplied by more recognizably premium competition. Volkswagen Arteon Review. 6 petrol and diesel engines to select from. DSG automatic gearbox situated on all models. Range-topping models feature all-wheel drive. 150 horsepower 1.5-liter petrol and 2.0-liter diesel models to powerful 2.0-liter variants with 280 horsepower and 240 horsepower respectively. The range-topping models feature 4-wheel drive as standard for harnessing their substantial power tallies along which has a dual-clutch automatic gearbox in each case. Is the 240 horsepower Arteon diesel high quality? Using sequential turbocharging, one small turbo for low revs feeding into a large turbo at higher revs, the 240 horsepower diesel certainly doesn't drag its heels. With a stonking 500 Nm of torque available between 1,7502, 500 revolutions per minute, it's probably a fantastic job VW fitted 4-wheel drive as standard. The benchmark 0.62 mph sprint takes 6.5 seconds, helped because of the DSG Auto, which snaps keenly through upshifts to offer maximum standing start acceleration, and top speed is 152 mph. It's not probably the most exciting sounding engine, despite the presence of the sport noise function engaged, however it delivers substantial forward thrust in a very smooth and satisfying fashion. Is the 280 horsepower Arteon a worthy range topper? While it generates far less torque as opposed to Arteon's best diesel, the 280 horsepower TSI petrol's 350 Nm can be acquired over a much wider rev range, 1,7005, 600 revolutions per minute. This can make it very flexible. Extra urge can be obtained whenever you desire it, but in addition strangely uninvolving they are driving. It will just keep piling around the speed, leaving the trucker with little to accomplish. The normal DSG and 4Motion combo only exacerbates the sensation. Still, with 0.62 mph taking just 5.6 seconds and also a top speed of 155 mph, it'll keep most hot hatches, as well as the Arteon's premium German rivals, greatly on their toes. The soundtrack is much more engaging here, too, and all of told we're feeling it's the petrol engine to suit the Arteon's continent-crushing Gran Turismo brief. The top, regardless of whether it's thirsty or fuel consumption, means you'll need to stop your continental touring more frequently, and pay more to the privilege also. A little engine drone can also be audible from your back seat at motorway speeds, though, surprising for the modern petrol car. It's no problem, but we'd expect slightly less noise from beneath the bonnet. Arteon 2.0 TDI 150 diesel probably be bestseller. Volkswagen predicts how the entry-level diesel will be essentially the most popular Arteon. While not slow, the engine feels as though it's started using its work cut down hauling throughout the Arteon's hefty frame. That is amazing. Many drivers who value the Arteon's relaxed driving style would similarly value a bit more power, to make sure they don't should work the motor as hard. Consequently, the 190 horsepower version with the same engine is likely to be a far more satisfying choice. Petrol 190 horsepower 2.0-liter model pleasant drive and automobile. The 190 horsepower petrol's extra muscle within the 150 horsepower diesel is really a big difference. The engine feels considerably more responsive as well as the car lighter. Though diesel engines normally provide greater muscle at low engine speeds, this petrol is practically as strong, even barely above idle. That causes it to become a very good fit for that Arteon, though company car drivers are gonna be worse off in big tax terms using the petrol compared to using the 150 horsepower diesel. The gap is gonna be much smaller compared while using 190 horsepower diesel, however. Driving modes. A driving mode selector supplies a choice between eco, comfort, normal, sport and individual driving modes. Each of these behaves because you'd expect, adapting the accelerator response along with the gearbox programming and steering weight to fit, as well because the suspension firmness if the optional adaptive dynamic chassis control product is specified. As usual, the DSG transmission is effective under manual control, especially utilizing the paddle shifters about the back with the steering wheel, though if you like they are driving this way you'll discover the petrol's more satisfying as opposed to diesel. Like with less torque these seem able to better deal with downshift demands when traveling quickly. See the safety section for info regarding the Arteon's high-tech adaptive cruise control system. Only tested on dynamic chassis control suspension thus far. This provides a vast volume of adjustment choices. Fast and flat inside corners being a result, although not thrilling. The Arteon is accessible with several suspension setups. Select a four-wheel drive model and you receive dynamic chassis control DCC adaptive suspension as standard, which enables you to adjust the firmness with the shock absorbers depending for the type of driving you're doing. If you would like this using a two-wheel drive model, though, you'll have to pay extra to the privilege. Meanwhile, individuals who opt for an R-Line model can make between two DCC versions, the traditional version as well as a second sportier lowered suspension setup. We first drove the VW Arteon fitted together with the DCC system, and also on larger, optional wheels. You might expect this last addition to ruin the ride comfort, nevertheless the Arteon continues to be engineered for 20-inch wheels right through the start, thus it copes with him or her surprisingly well, even on bumpier surfaces. The DCC plays a substantial role within this, however, as it's one with the most variable systems we've ever encountered. Volkswagen Arteon DCC suspension system. It's not just how the DCC presents a tremendous difference between its softest and hardest settings, even though it does indeed make this happen. Rather than simply presenting the standard comfort, normal and sport settings, VW has added examples of adjustment far beyond these choices. Select the individual driving mode function so you're presented having a touchscreen slider at the top from the central display, supplying you with access to no lower than 43 different intervals of suspension control. Some will believe that this is a lot of choice, and they're probably right, however it's certainly a novelty that enthusiastic buyers will love playing with. What's the Volkswagen Arteon like to push? The cynical may additionally suggest this can be VW's strategy for distracting said buyers from what on earth is otherwise a serious conventional driving experience. While you can come up a range of normal and sport steering weights, there is very little about the way the Arteon handles that could really draw you into the process of driving it. The progressive steering system doesn't help. VW uses a similar technology around the Golf GTI and Golf R, and it also is created to give you light, quick steering at low speeds for agility, as well as a steadier, weightier feel for stability when going faster. Trouble is, furthermore, it ends up slightly numb and inconsistent. Don't get us wrong, the Arteon is actually by no means an unsatisfactory car to push. In fact, it covers ground right away if you need it to, with limited body roll and lots of composure. It's hardly very incisive about its direction changes inside manner of, say, a BMW 4 Series, again living as much as its Gran Turismo billing as opposed to substituting for the sports car. Modern but nonetheless user-friendly inside. Discovery Pro multimedia is useful. Comfort and quality quite high. Inside the Arteon, it's greatly contemporary Volkswagen, turned around 11. In the center on the cockpit sits the modern 8.0-inch Discovery navigation Sat-nav infotainment system. With its responsive touchscreen and highly intuitive operation logic, it doesn't require much time to get accustomed to this by any means, regardless of whether the much-touted gesture control functionality is pretty limited. Better yet, VW hasn't forgotten the need for providing physical buttons for probably the most important interior controls, for example the air conditioning system. The optional 9.2-inch Discovery Pro system does eradicate some from the physical controls to the media system, however, so that it is more distracting to make use of while driving. Active Info Display. This is VW's name for that virtual cockpit digital dial cluster, increasingly found over the Volkswagen Group's various selection of products. Sitting the spot that the conventional instruments employed can be a large screen that performs dozens of normal driving functions, including telling you your speed and engine revs, plus far more. A secondary map screen with the Sat-nav is obtainable here, by way of example, to as use of the various active safety systems as well as your music choices and Sat-nav information. All of this can be controlled via buttons for the steering wheel. It's a daunting array of capability to begin with, but as using the main screen within the center from the car you soon get utilized to it. The optional head-up display brings an additional source of info for the driving force. Volkswagen Arteon interior quality and driving position. The Arteon's interior quality is well around the mark associated with a rival with this sector, so that you won't feel shortchanged on this respect. DCC suspension mostly comfortable, even on large 19 and 20-inch wheels. Excellent seats, plenty of space from the rear. Find smooth roads along with the Arteon is quite comfortable drive an automobile with compliant suspension and little noise making itself heard. Encounter a normal stretch of scarred, pockmarked British tarmac, however, as well as the car struggles to smother the road surface at the same time as you'd hope, despite having the optional dynamic chassis control in the comfort mode. It's not uncomfortable the slightest bit, nevertheless it can feel jarring on the series of bumps in quick succession, with noise from rough roads resonating there in place through the cabin in excess of expected. Still, together with the DCC set for the comfort end of the considerable spectrum, on better roads bumps are unlikely to trouble you. This clever adaptive suspension system absorbs nasty surfaces with considerable ease, although we did detect the sporadic resonance from the cabin over particularly bad patches of tarmac. Things are apartment to be better using the 18-inch standard wheels of Elegance models, as there's a different inch of rubber between you as well as the road. Volkswagen Arteon refinement. Refinement can also be pretty good from the Arteon. Unsurprisingly, the TSI petrol is a lot more refined compared to TDI diesel, using a touch of drone emanating in the TDI sometimes. In the TSI, the worst you can expect is usually a bit of wind noise, which only at higher motorway speeds. Volkswagen Arteon seats, comfort and space. This is really a spacious car front and back. Legroom within the back is especially generous, VW reckons class leading, and you won't struggle for elbow and shoulder room, either, though taller adults mightn't have as much headroom as they'd like. The middle rear seat is the most suitable left to children, a result of the raised seat base and prominent center tunnel essential to accommodate the four-wheel drive system. It still feels like a spacious car inside back versus the Audi A5 Sportback, however. Heated and massaging front seats are offered, while partial electrical adjustment on the front seats is standard. Elegance and Reline really the only trim levels. Standard devices are extensive. Plenty of optional extras available. The Arteon is available in two specifications, Elegance and Reline. Both are practically kitted out, with just a couple of, mainly aesthetic, details separating the two main. Standard Volkswagen Arteon coupe equipment. Desirable kit like SatNav, Bluetooth, adaptive cruise control and heated leather seats is standard across all models, with Reline cars gaining sharper sporty styling details. Elegance models include adaptive LED self-leveling headlights, 18-inch alloy wheels, full-size spare alloy wheel, 8.0-inch touchscreen media system, Bluetooth with capacity to pair two devices simultaneously, 3-zone climate control, automatic headlights and windscreen wipers, front and rear parking sensors, adaptive cruise control, active info display digital dials, Nappa leather upholstery, heated front seats, electric driver's seats, electric folding wing mirrors. Reline adds 19-inch alloy wheels, Reline styling pack, Reline leather sports seats, black roof lining, optional Volkswagen Arteon coupe extras. Key optional items range from the Air Care Climatronic, an expensive 3-zone climate control system, detailed with air quality sensors and active biogenic filters to guard you from a number of airborne nasties, and also the DCC adaptive suspension. Lots of active safety systems available. The most technologically advanced are only optional, though. Arteon gets a 5-star NCAP score. If it's safety you would like, the Arteon's first got it. In addition to all the airbags, electronic stability control systems and autonomous emergency braking capability we've arrived at expect in the latest cars, you'll find stacks of a lot more advanced systems available, too. Volkswagen Arteon Coupe Safety Systems. The Arteon's adaptive cruise control technique is the first in a VW that monitors speed limits utilizing the speed assistant and is the term for SatNav data the bend assistant as a way to automatically adjust the set speed. This is an additional step about the path towards autonomous cars, though few people will appreciate its good intentions, and don't expect the pace adjustments to be infallible. In practice it truly does work remarkably well, scaling down not just for speed limits but in addition junctions along with hazards. It also accelerates back approximately new limits with alacrity, and steers itself very smoothly in abbreviation periods. Genuinely impressive. Second-generation autonomous emergency braking. The Arteon also includes a second-generation emergency assist system. Should the motorist become incapacitated for reasons unknown, emergency assist is now able to not only slow the vehicle to a stop, additionally, it can steer the vehicle to the side on the road, say through the outside lane of a motorway towards the inside. It functions by combining the adaptive cruise control, side assist blind spot monitoring system and the normal-fit lane assist lane guidance system, but only works when traffic approaching from behind causes it to become safe to accomplish so. Again, this usually works remarkably well insofar as we've had the opportunity to safely try it. Active headlights available. Next innovation is definitely an updated dynamic light assist system. This improves upon conventional cornering lights which illuminate bends when you turn the tire by integrating this ability, which has a forward-facing camera and also the state of route data. This means it could illuminate corners before you've turned the tire. We're to be able to test this, but it really sounds helpful anyway. The pre-crash system, which prepares the automobile in cases of unavoidable impact, now reacts besides to dangers detected by extreme handling changes and objects in front but dangers through the rear. Meanwhile, traffic jam assist will take care of driving in congestion around 37 miles per hour, employing a combination of sensors, but just like most with the above, only in situations where it is capable to detect the lane markings successfully. The Arteon also features a dynamic bonnet in lowering injury to pedestrians if the worst should happen. How many ICE-fix baby car seats can I fit within a Volkswagen Arteon coupe? There are 2 ICE-fix mountings within the Arteon, one on each from the outer rear seats. Volkswagen Arteon Euro NCAP rating. Euro NCAP has in the Arteon a 5-star score, reflecting the raft of safety equipment available, both optional and since standard. With its extensive array of available active safety systems, as well as the fact that it's based around the Passat, this score wasn't unexpected, but very welcome in 2017's tougher Euro NCAP tests. The Arteon's large footprint means there is lots of room for passengers front and back, though anyone from the middle rear is forced to straddle the transmission tunnel in 4-wheel drive models, making that seat ideal to smaller children. The Arteon may look slinky within the pictures, but usually this can be a large car, lower but wider and longer compared to VW Passat. Still, that length is comfortably under 5 meters, therefore it isn't so massive that car parks become unmanageably awkward. But you may well want to look at the dimensions of your garage before purchase. Proving that you simply don't need to sacrifice practicality once you opt for just a slinkier, sportier car, the Arteon's enormous boot is accessed via a substantial tailgate, creating an immediate edge over its 4-door CC predecessor.